Aloha kako, Kamaka Brown over here on the continent, and my goodness, if it's 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, it's Aloha Friday with the Sandwich Islands Social Network right here as our first broadcast, our first streaming for 2024, and we're excited about coming up the Robert Cazimero concert coming up Sunday, January 28th in Downey as part of the Aloha Everywhere concert series at the Downey Theater. And Robert Cazimero is going to be here on the 28th with his halau. And there's also a pre-show entertainment with Fiva, Teeny Gray, and will be there with his group. And the privilege of hosting the concert. So join us over there. So welcome everyone to the Aloha Friday show. Kamaka Brown right over here. And I am so blessed and so pleased to have all the way from Lahaina Maui, none other than Keola Beamer right there. Aloha, Keola.
Hey, aloha. Thank you for having me this morning.
Oh, man. And I love it. So you are in your backyard right now in Lahaina.
Yep, we live in Lahaina in Leali'i. It's a Hawaiian homes area in Lahaina, so I'm surrounded by Hawaiians and living a good life.
We welcome any of the chickens walking by making noise. We welcome we welcome the minor birds. We love the
You can hear 'em, yeah.
I don't mind the chickens, the cats, the dogs. If a cat happens to walk across your keypad, it's all good. We love it.
Okay.
So, if the neighbor starts off the weed whacker, whatever, that's okay. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yes, so we have some friends just dropping in right now. So happy. Here's Laura Bauer from San Diego. Aloha, Laura. Lara
Nice.
Bauer from San Diego checking in over there. Here's C Honda. Aloha, Keola, and Kamaka. Oh, K and K.
Aloha.
Yeah, that's right, bro. We both KBs over here. How about that?
That's right.
Who else is checking in over here? Because everyone was excited. My buddy Marty Burns from Brook the Mouth Bakery. Aloha Friday Kako.
Nice.
Excited for this one. Here is Yvette. Yvette is from Kahuku. Red Riders for Life over there, Kahuku.
Right on.
But she lives here in Southern California. And also Gary Gotori from 951 Ukulele Shop, the biggest ukulele shop and the only one in San Gabriel Valley. So aloha kako, Gary. Thanks for dropping in. And there is Auntie Kate Bennett from Simi Valley. She's checking in, and she's also saying aloha right there. She comes from the West Wing. And Carly all the way from Milano, Italy.
Wow.
Hi, Carly. Welcome. Alrighty then. So we encourage our ohana. If you have questions, you want to make a comment, I'll get to them. And if I miss, I apologize. But here we have Lani. Lani says, "Aloha, Keola." By the way, she says the show in Kirkland, Washington, on the 27th is almost sold out. Yay!
Hey, good. That's a big one. Yeah.
She says, "Hope to see you there. Say hi to Moana, of course, your lovely wife."
Will do.
So yes, Lani is in Washington as well. Nice to see you, Lani. Long time no see. And Mark Tamashiro, aloha too. Kamaka and
All
my
right.
friend.
That's my friend Mark. Yeah.
Where is Mark? Where is
Mark's
he living?
on Oahu. Yeah, he's on Oahu.
He's on the Aina. Perfect. Okay, so we're off and running. My goodness, really excited about it. I tell you, I gotta start with this. I just saw this over here, and I thought it was definitely the way to start our whole time together. Everybody, take a look at this picture.
Goodness.
Okay, Keola, go ahead. Commentary.
Okay, so on the right, you see these two little guys. My father was Irish, so I'm looking at the pretty pale little kids. But we are Hawaiian, and mom from when we were, small kid time. This is the perfect example of it. She always included me and Kapono in her work. Whether she was, this was at Queen Surf back, way back in the day,
Wow.
and so she flew to Oahu from we were living in Waimea, but we drive to Kona and then fly out of Kona on the old DC-3s, and that's the old tail draggers that Aloha Airlines had back in those days. And so we get on board, and then sometimes she'd be late, and they would hold the plane.
Wow.
Back in the day, they do that, and she'd do her Sunday show. This is Sundays at the Queen Surf, so that's right down in Waikiki. That looks like it's maybe one of the opening sequences of the show. And at that time, she had Gabby playing guitar and my Uncle Mahi Beamer singing, and
Oh.
just beautiful, beautiful Hawaiian work. But me and my brother, we used to do all these things with mom, and this went on for so many years. But by the time we were teenagers, how rambunctious teenagers can be, how rebellious. Yeah. So one time, she was doing a thing for the Shriners, and we're about 17, 18 years old. Just learning how to drink beer from our cousins, and getting pretty rowdy. And we started making fun of her. She's doing Hawaiian alphabet chant, and me and my brother, we're so cool, and we're kind of making fun of her. Alapia, we're in the back. Alapia, just kind of giggling and making fun of her. Playing with each other, and then she looks back at us in front of 700 people. She says, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last night my sons will be performing." And she fired us on stage. Oh, it was so embarrassing, because we had to walk from the stage. We had to walk through the audience to the back door of the whatever the theater that was. And all the Shriners are looking at us like losers. Oh, so embarrassing. And then then a couple of weeks later, she couldn't take it anymore. So she really did need our help. We were the guitar players, for her hula thing. So finally, she had to, beg us to come back. We're going, well, Mom, let's discuss the pay situation here. What are we going to do? Anyway, she was, those little Beamer family adventures.
Oh, love those stories, Keola. Love the mo'olelo. Oh, that's the kind of stuff you're not gonna find when you Google your name. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And then, the thing she went through with, single mom with two boys, because my dad, left early. He just took on. And so mom raised me and Kapono. And so when we were in the fourth grade, when I was in the fourth grade, we were playing our ukuleles, and we discovered the Kingston Trio. So we started doing their, me and my brother started doing their songs. And I know this sounds so weird, hard to believe. We got hired when we were in the fourth grade to play the Honoka'a Senior Prom. Because we were living in Kamaka,
Wow.
Can you imagine how desperate you have to be to hire two fourth graders to play your senior prom? Oh,
Hey, stop it. Hey, the people from Honoka'a, don't diss the people from Honoka'a.
So when people ask me, how long have I been professional? Well, that's you define professional from when you got paid, right? So I got paid $5 as a professional in the fourth grade.
Goodness. Oh, Keola might have bounced off. He'll be right back. Here's Erica Yamaguchi. Erica is saying, Kamaka and Keola, how's it? Good to hear from you. And
Maybe something timed out or something.
Oh, you're perfect.
I'm back.
No,
Yeah,
yes,
thanks.
thank you.
Anyway, I was, mentioning that, when you start taking gigs when you're in the fourth grade, the hardest thing about the gig is showing up to the gig. How you gonna do that, right? Bicycle? Oh my God. Anyway, so mom was always so kind to, she helped us so much. It's just
Ah.
amazing, amazing family. My grandfather had a ranch up in Waimea and Hawaiian homestead. So we spent a lot of time up there when we were kids. He had 400 acres, and he ran about actually 450 acres, and he ran about 400 head of cattle every year. So
Wow.
it was a working ranch. So
Yeah.
we grew up, you know, learning cowboy stuff, and in those days, kids worked. I mean, we worked on the ranch, helping Papa with the, moving rocks or whatever we could, dig dirt, fence posts, pull lines, whatever we could help him do. And he'd always tell us, we'd be way out on some fence post, and he'd go, "Hey, Keola, go get me the come along." And I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's so terrified of the old man getting mad at me. I'd come back with about 10 things from the house. Is this it? Is that it? No. Anyway, he was he kind of taught us how to be young man. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah. Here's Lonnie. Lonnie says that she graduated with Kapono from Kamehameha
Yeah,
in
1970.
1970.
Absolutely. Yeah, he graduated in
Yeah.
70. Aloha, Lani. Nice to see
Yeah.
your photo.
And
Thank
then
you.
let me see. Carly. Carly says she's going to fly to California and say, "How's it? Ah, you're going to be at the Cazimero concert. Good. We'll see you, Carly.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you so
Nice.
much." Nancy Lewis says, "Aloha Kamaka and Keola. Love your shows with Henry. I never miss them. So why no Southern California this year? You never know."
Well, if I could speak to that just briefly, Henry and I, we're older guys, and we just kind of pick the cherries now. You know what I mean? I mean, there's all these places you could play, and of
Okay,
course,
wait. Are you
yeah,
saying you picked the low hanging mangoes first?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The ripest. That's what we do. But also, because of my situation in Lahaina and what happened, and I didn't want to be away too long. I think that would be the best way to put it. And Henry and them, his keikis are just ready to go off to college, so they didn't want to be away too long either.
Sure.
When you live in Maui, right, where are you going to go for vacation? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So um, we love our home, and so I don't feel like I have to be out working all the time. It's just great to be home.
Of course. While we're talking about that, let's just do this right now because
Yeah,
we're talking about the tour. And
yeah.
here are the dates right now. And if you may want to take a note, folks, or you can go to henrycapono.com. It's all there. But Henry, Keola, and Moana, they will be in Kirkland, Washington on the 27th of January. On
Right.
Sunday, the 28th, they'll be in Portland, Oregon. Berkeley, California on the 1st of February, and Phoenix, Arizona on February 2nd. So they have 4 shows lined up on the continent here. So if you live in that area or you have ohana in that area, please let them know. They can go to henrycapono.com and get information on the tours, how to get tickets, and all of that. So,
Right.
yes,
Right.
indeed. You mentioned Keola. You mentioned the Maui fires,
Yeah.
and our hearts go out to all of the ohana in West Maui. You live right there
Yeah.
in Lahaina. Um, what would you share with us on how you, your family, we're in a continent, we know what the media has shared with us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um, tell us a little bit about how our West Maui ohana is doing and what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, One thing about the fires was that it really ignited the aloha in our community. Just to see people come together for each other with such strength and resilience was, it just touches my heart. Um, People, outside of our neighborhood just bringing in supplies and food and water. You know, sorry, I still kind of emotional about it because it was a rough time. You know, we had these 118-mile winds coming from Malka and just pushing this huge, horrible fire. You know, the fire came 2 houses away from where I'm sitting now, and you know, I just remember propane tanks exploding. I just heard these explosions all the time. I'm going, what the hell is that? You know, it's people's cars, boats, propane tanks. And the fire kept getting closer and closer, and it was Moana and myself and my niece were home. And of course, my first consideration is, you know, living beings. So I packed the worst go bag imaginable. I think it had 2 Guinness beers and a sandwich. You know, how ridiculous, right? I have these priceless instruments. Anyway, my main concern was, of course, my ohana, right? My wife and my niece and our animals. So we all bundled up into the car and got evacuated by the police department up towards the civic center. Then we got evacuated from there because the fire just kept, you know, progressing. So, you know, we spent several, you know, a sleepless night in the car. We couldn't even get into the emergency facilities because they were just so jammed with people. I remember I spent some time up by West Maui Airport that night, just kind of, you know, thinking through some things with my family in the car and watching, you know, the fire burn off in the distance and hearing those explosions. And you know, you're wondering, is that my house? Is that my car? You know, and we were the lucky ones because we still have our home. It's, you know, slightly damaged from smoke and wind, but we still have our home, and many of my neighbors have nothing. You know, that's part of the thing about Lahaina, the survivors, those of us that, you know, are okay. You know, we have survivor's guilt because we wonder, you know, why us? You know, how come we're so lucky? Uh, and so the the first thing I thought I could do was help my neighbors. You know? So we did a concert at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, a benefit for West Maui fire victims, and in combination with donations from friends and fellow musicians and amazing people, you know, we raised $90,000, and then we decided that the best way we could help, even though that's small potatoes, you know, but it's something. So we we figured that the best way we could help was to help some families. We chose 6 families, and we were donating through our nonprofit $1,200 a month for each family, which is, you know, just kind of money to just put some groceries on the table and just give them some thinking time, right? I mean, it's enough to sort of help with the expenses. And we're going to do that for a year with each family. We started that in December. So then there's this, you know, if you have a nonprofit, you have to be responsible about the funds, right? So people donate this money expecting you to use it intelligently, which I believe we did and continue to do. So the first thing is you have to, you know, get information, who these people are, you know, what their mailing address is, how to get them checks, you know, so they, you know, go through a form process for the IRS and whatever tax purposes. But it was difficult because we chose people who had lost everything. That was the criteria. Not my neighbors like myself who still had our homes, but people I saw, you know, running from the smoke, you know. And so we, I was able to, you know, locate 6 families that had lost everything, and then bring them over to our home, and then fill out the forms and stuff, you know, the PDFs and you know, simple thing like ID, no can, driver's license burned, you know, cars burned, houses, all they got is a closed on their back, you know. So we anyway we manage that stuff. And one Hawaiian guy gave me the biggest hug, Brock. So grateful. I thought he was going to break my ribs. I mean, it was just, uh, and so now we're in what they call phase two. So the EPA is kind of moving out, clearing away materials, trying to help people, you know, take away the stuff so they can rebuild again. So we're just like, this is like day three, I think, of phase two. So we're, carefully looking at the air quality, monitoring that, and pretty eyes on the environment, particularly air quality. We have a wind screen now, or a dust screen that separates us from the burn over here to my side. Um, and then, there's a lot of real community involvement with what is the future going to be like. On Oahu, they've decided that they're going to prioritize, in the legislature, they're going to prioritize Maui's needs because we have similar needs to other communities, water, access. We have one way in and out of West Maui. It's pretty dangerous when you get the king tides or something. You don't want to have a heart attack in Lahaina when the road is blocked because of little rock fall or something. We only have one hospital, right? Wailuku. So we have these real needs and community concerns that are now being really attended, and so I think that is, if there is a positive side to any of this, it's that the community speaks. Anyway, yeah.
Touched the heart there, Keola. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, your manao on there. Um, whew,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
never expect those things in life. It really
mm,
shakes you because we're normally, we have some sense of what tomorrow's going to be, and we have some concept of the future, and then in one night to have everything taken away is just incredibly, you know, it's an incredible shock.
yeah,
Most of us have PTSD from driving through the burn or dealing with it. One of my neighbors, a Hawaiian lady a few blocks away, she says, I know it's irrational, but if I got to go to Kahului to go shopping, I think, oh my God, my kids are going to be here. They're going to burn when I'm gone. She knows it's irrational, but that's the kind of stuff that, that kind of trauma, that matrix that trauma puts on your life, that
yes,
matrix of fear, uncertainty, you know.
yeah,
So we all got to heal. And my friends who started working back in the hotels, now that we're welcoming our visitors back, the most difficult thing they have to face is the questions. People are just innocently asking, did your house burn? Well, you try to answer that 40 times a day, you know, when you got nothing and you're living in the next hotel. You know, that's grueling. So we ask our visitors to please be sensitive, be, be, be kind.
yeah,
When things are going well and your life is happy, you want to give to people, right? You want to, maybe you're a waiter, you want to serve them with aloha, with genuine, authentic aloha. But when your life is in shambles, man, that's hard to do. You know?
yeah.
So if you visit, be gentle.
Some friends of mine, Keola, had hit me up and said, "Hey, we like to golf, and we're going to go golfing, on Maui. Any tips? Any tips? And I said, yes. Um, be very, very empathetic. Be kind, and
Yeah,
I would love it if you could. We always go and we took in a show. We took some pictures. How about giving something back to the Aina? If while you're there, if you can volunteer, if you
yeah,
find there's a way in which take a garbage bag, go pick up some trash,
yeah,
do something to give back to the Aina. That is
Yeah,
what Kamaka is recommending to any of his friends,
yeah,
anybody that is going to Maui. Take some time to give back to the Aina. And they
yeah,
said, "Oh, okay, we'll do that," you know. And so,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you know
yeah,
we can still contribute to Hawaii Community Foundation, you know, Lahaina Strong. These are great organizations that are
yeah,
actively, you know, involved in helping people.
yeah.
You know, I got to be very fond of World Kitchen
Mm,
because they came to Lahaina and cooked meals for us and bought them over, you know, for the survivors. And Archie Kalapa is my good friend and neighbor, you know, just an excellent community leader and resource, you know, brilliant um, waterman. And so he set up this hub just behind me, and because Archie's just two houses away down there, and then you know brought everybody in for meals and music and talk story. Every day we had a community meeting, figure out how we're going to navigate this, what our air is like. You know, we didn't have you guys knew more about what was going on in Lahaina than we did because we
mm,
had nothing, no
mm.
power, zero, no internet. You know, no. We had one transistor radio that you know was my only touch with the world for quite a while. You know, for a guy that you know has every Apple device you know in the world, you know, and that to me it's just you know all of a sudden zero communication. You know, one little $7 transistor radio was
Wow,
you know shocking.
yeah. Well, while we were talking, a lot of our friends dropped in. Uh, Brian Tolentino, what's up, brother? He's saying
Hey, all right,
aloha.
Brian.
Ooh,
Aloha, Brian.
Brian. That's one ukulele player. That's one ukulele player, man.
Absolutely,
Love that,
absolutely.
brother.
Yeah, one of the best. One of
He
the
is
best.
the best over here. And yes, C Honda is saying get information about the concerts that are coming up here on the continent. Go to henrycapono.com. Thank you, C.
Yep.
So pick up some tickets and see Moana, Henry, and Keola coming up in 4 concerts on the continent coming up. Here's Hans De Beer. Hey, what's up, Hans? Hans is a great friend of mine. He lives up in Washington State, and he is very familiar with Maui. In fact, Hans, you were telling me earlier your daughter danced for Keola's mom in Honolulu. I think isn't that what he was telling me a story in that. If you want to, Hans, share a little bit on that. He was saying, yes, 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 I'm familiar with that. You know. Um, oh, here's Manny Lagod. Manny Lagod, one of the.
Whoa!
Oh, that's a name,
There's
huh,
a
Keola?
name. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, aloha, Manny. So nice
One
to
of
see
the
you.
one of the Danho and the Ali'is, Manny Lagod.
Of
Um,
course, so famous, man. Those were amazing days with Don and the
Oh,
band and those
what a
guys.
voice! What a
Just
voice!
awesome. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get to see Manny every now and then. He lives here in Southern California. He
Oh,
performs.
nice.
He performs with a group called the Kolohes, and here, and I think they have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's still
Great name.
playing. He's still playing. Misty Almond says, "Aloha, Kamaka." Who
Nice.
else is jumping in over here? Ah, C says, "Keola, so insightful and kind. Mahalo."
Oh,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, yes, yes,
Appreciate that.
yes, yes.
Um,
Believe me. Um, Here is Auntie Jerry. Aloha, cousin, Auntie Jerry Kuhia. She is a Laie girl, Laia girl. She has a beautiful voice. She plays often through Southern California. And she is from North Shore, just like me on that side too.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, here's Hans. He says, "Let me see. Yes, I'm going to try. My son, Hawaiian name is Bennett Keaupuni. All of the riches with the kingdom are compassed. With Daniel's name was Kekua Manalani, backbone, spine, spirit, and heaven, strong and tall. I think it was Leilani, and they were all given the name by Nona Beamer.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so these are names that
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
mom.
mom just had this beautiful gift where she would dream the name, and then
Ah,
she'd share it. So when she passed away, for her whole of was at Kamehameha School's Kekuhopio in the gymnasium. It must have been 1,000 people, her students, from all those years that came by to say aloha. Many of them had been given their names by my mom. So she taught at Kamehameha for 40 years and was instrumental in you know, Bishop State was just this huge. I think of it as just like a giant ship, some big tanker in the water, um, and it was not navigated very well. Um, and what I mean by that is the trustees were selling the land, of Bishop State land, and pocketing real estate commissions, right? So they're making millions of dollars a year while they're telling us kids, oh, sorry, bro, I can't quite help with that scholarship, you know. And mom just thought, that is wrong. The priority is wrong. The priority should be the students. So she um, wrote a very influential letter to the editor of I think it was the Honolulu Advertiser at the time. And that little match ignited the community. Because one thing about Hawaiians, man, we can take a lot, but don't F with our kids. You know?
Can I quote
So,
you? Can I quote you
yeah,
on that? The kupuna saying,
yeah,
he's right. Yeah, he's right. They're shaking their head about the kind of.
so that's the thing. And so she had personal knowledge of this, I won't say which trustee, but this kid his scholarship was threatened because he wasn't towing the trustee line, and that is just wrong. You don't, hold the kid's scholarship over his head unless he did, what the hell? So she, immediately, talk about backbone and spine. There's a
Wow.
Kuama'o. She
Oh,
just had this tremendous ability to, stand up for what she felt was right. There's my mom in
yeah.
about 2007 when she was living with us here in Lahaina. She loved
Oh.
that dog, little dachshund that she just really, really, really loved.
Your mother
Yeah,
was at the. You know, it wasn't just lighting a little match. That whole thing came in like a flamethrower, man, because
oh yeah,
through her standing up for what is pono.
yeah,
Uh, you likened that to a big ship, but
yeah,
believe me, that ship began to turn, and
exactly,
changes were made.
exactly. She
Right?
turned it. Yeah,
Oh,
she had the first hand on the tiller that just started
whoo!
making that turn. Now there's Kamehameha in Maui. There's Kamehameha schools, Big Island. So now kids, talk to me about, oh yeah, I met Kamehameha, and sometimes I got to remember, oh yeah, not just Oahu, like or our time, right?
Yeah,
Kamaka,
yeah.
and mom got suspended 3 times from
Oh,
Kamehameha.
that's right.
One for
She was
yeah,
teaching
one
there.
for yeah, she was chanting, Oli no can, right? Not allowed. Hula, especially standing hula, no can, not
Okay.
allowed. Because in those days, Kamehameha, was really sort of thought that maybe Hawaiian things weren't that great. It was kind of, there was maybe a little shame of being Hawaiian.
Yeah.
The missionary influence was so strong that the hula was thought of as being lewd and lascivious. Oh, please.
Hmm.
Those things are all corrected now, and Kamehameha is at the forefront of Hawaiian education, authentic olelo and cultural knowledge. So what a blessing that many other hands on that till. By the way, our whole community just came forward and began marching and protesting, and finally, those changes came to Kamehameha. And where we're at now is our kids get a great education. They have wonderful opportunities for scholarship. I have a friend, um, Maui friend, whose son just got a full ride to Stanford. That's 85,000 a year now at
Wow.
Stanford. So that kid has just got an amazing opportunity ahead of him, thanks to Kamehameha schools and our kupuna, who put the love into change it and make it right.
Beautiful. Shout out to our dear friend Stephanie. Aloha, Stephanie. Thanks for dropping in. Patricia also is Patricia Shimamoto. Aloha, Patricia. Here's Akone Apana from San Diego. He's saying aloha. Friday with the to the global ohana. There he goes. That's on
Nice.
that's one fellow classmate from Roosevelt High School on the slopes of Papakolea, where I went.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's exactly to this point, C Honda. It is lots of us here on the continent may not know the story. All you need to do is just do some Google search. If you're interested in it, you can just put into Google Winona Beamer, Hawaii. There's all of that information about what happened during those years, how influential she was in making, sparking some changes. Yes, Kamehameha School. My dad graduated from Kamehameha, class of 1930, if you will. No olelo, there was no dancing, no chanting.
Yeah.
All of that didn't
Yeah.
happen until the mid 60s, right? 65,
Yeah.
66. When
Yeah.
that, imagine.
Even like, yeah, Kamaka, like our time, right? So the Olelo was, my grandparents spoke fluent Hawaiian, and so, but that was like their sort of almost special secret language. If they wanted to, namu namu about the neighbors or something, that they didn't want us to know, that was in Hawaiian.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see, for my parent, if we ask kuli kuli, that's not for you, kuli kuli, which means be quiet,
Yeah,
shut up.
yeah,
This is for
yeah.
the adults only. Yeah.
And plus they really wanted us to be able to compete in a Western world, right?
Mm.
We weren't allowed to speak pidgin at home because come on, you guys got to stand up and get out into the world and compete with the rest of society. So
Here's,
pidgin's not going to help, right?
here's Lonnie said Keola's mom
Yeah.
gave us gals at
Yes.
Kamehameha confidence, dignity via hula at Kamehameha schools during my time there. Whew.
But thank you, Lonnie. What a beautiful thing to
Oh,
say.
that's
Appreciate that.
that's
Thank you.
that's chicken skin.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Lonnie. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Lonnie says I received a full scholarship to a private school in Wisconsin in the 70s due
Nice.
to Kamehameha schools. There
Right
you
on.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Me too. I got a scholarship, and I went to Goddard College in Plainfield, Vermont.
Wow.
Crazy place
Wow.
to go to college if you're from home. It was so cold. The winters would get to 40 below in Vermont. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
And my friends, my first year there, I'm seeing snow for the first time, going like, "Wow!" My friends, it's getting colder, and the months are going on towards winter. And my friends are like, "I just got slippers," right? They're looking at my feet. Bro, brother, you're gonna die. That snow is gonna come. It's gonna freeze. You're gonna get frostbite. You're gonna die.
you're gonna die.
So then my mom sent me some money for some boots, so that
Uh
was okay. But
huh.
anyway, yeah. So we did. Some of us got scholarships, yay! But
Oh,
much better now.
yeah. Shout out to Ryan Iwase. What's up, Ryan, from Northern California? Love seeing Ryan every now and then at events. Just real good.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. We're talking with Keola Beamer all the way from his home in on the Valley Isle of Maui in Lahaina. We will be right back after a couple of these words. Here we go. Yes, indeed. We get silly. We get kolohe, small kind humor from small kind minds. We love it. We not scared talk pigeon on Tuesdays over here on the night patrol. We give them. We
Right
just
on.
we just have fun, and it's all about. It has absolutely no social redeeming qualities. It's just for have good fun, and so.
There you go.
If you have any expectations on the night patrol, please lower your expectations because us guys just having fun. Oh my goodness! Thanks for joining us, everyone. We have a very special guest, Keola Beamer, with us today, and talking about some hammers right here. Talking about some hammers.
Oh yeah. Talk about great musicians. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
man, one of the king's own, right? One of the king's
Yeah.
own. Oh,
Yeah.
aloha,
Fabulous.
Kavika
Aloha,
Kaheapo.
Kamika.
He says,
Mahalo. Thank you so much.
Ola was so inspiring to me back in the 70s, especially loving his magical kiho alu, especially on the nylon strings.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You know,
mahalo.
I was just so blessed in my musical development because first of all, I studied with Auntie Alice Tamakelua, right?
Oh, that's a name, right?
And so in those days there was no written music for Slaki, right? In fact, I wrote the first method book for the Hawaiian Slaki guitar in 1972, and but before that, the only way you could learn was if you were a member of a family that had a tuning or uncle knew some tunings, and it was real that kind of one-to-one relationship. So I had my family wonderful musicians, but a lot of chalang-a-lang, be just rhythm stuff. And when I heard the first strains of the Saki guitar, I was a young man, maybe about 9 years old. My family was having a party in Nu'uanu, and all the hula going on and music and stuff. For some reason, I walked out the backyard, just I don't know why I did that. And then I heard this strains of this music off in the distance, and I kind of followed it around behind the yard, behind the neighbor's yard, and then I kept hearing it's like silk in the air. The music was so beautiful, and I came across a Hawaiian man, old Hawaiian man, no shirt, shorts, barefoot, sitting on a Western oil can in the dirt underneath his mango tree and playing the most beautiful slack key I ever heard. I mean, it was beautiful. I still remember it after all these years. And then I was so excited to hear this music. I was just a little kid, yeah, and I sat down at his feet. And when I sat down, he had his eyes closed and he was playing. And then when I sat down at his feet, I made this little rustling sound in the dirt, and he kind of looked at me, and I could feel him really look at my face, and he really stared at my face. It's like, who are you? And then he just stopped playing, and he just turned his body around and turned his back to me, and the music was over. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I did something wrong. So I ran home. I think I was crying. I said to my mom, what happened? And she said, Keola, it's not your fault. It's just that he didn't know you. That's the kind of music. It's just played for your family. You weren't his family, and so he didn't want to share it with you. And I was a little kid, and it just broke my heart. Because music was gone, and I kind of spent the rest of my life trying to find that sound that old man shared, briefly.
Ooh.
And so I just fell in love with it. And, love there's nothing more powerful. So my aloha for the guitar and the music just set me on this path. When I think about it today, that little turn I made in the backyard to go left instead of go right to find that old man changed my whole life. That those few seconds,
Whew.
that determination I made to turn left, boom, my whole life changed.
Oh.
And then it began progressing, and I met people who wanted to learn more about the music, who loved the music. I became friends with George Winston, just a leading, incredible human being. We had, he's gone now, but we had this friendship that over 35 years. just talking about music and the guitar. And I ended up doing 6 recordings for his company called Dancing Cat Productions in San Francisco. So I spent a lot of time in San Francisco, and they were so great to me. My first record I did with John DeMello, 1970. Well, sorry, Jack DeMello, John's father, 1971. I recorded in 3 hours, 12 songs. Some of them, with second guitar parts. 3 hours at Sounds of Hawaii Studio down on Cook Street or whatever on Oahu. Because in those days, those big 24-track 2-inch tape, you know, very expensive. You had to have a very strong artistic statement in order to get to the studio, right? So only 3 hours. Now, working with George years later, we spent 3 hours on a phrase. There's no time limit. George just said, whatever you need, Keola, to make the music,
Wow.
you're gonna have it. And those guys just totally uh, let me be my best creative self. Never heard the word no. Heard the word a couple times, but never heard the word no from those guys. So I grew to love them, and I grew to just want to work
Uh,
with them, and so I'd go to San Francisco one long weekend a month for like years to put those 6 records together, and the company was so gracious, and you know still living off those royalties, so life is good.
you know, a moment ago you mentioned an iconic name that resonates
Oh,
with me,
yeah,
and this is Kavika. We're talking about
yeah.
Auntie
Oh,
Alice,
yeah,
Auntie Alice Namakelua. Tutu
yeah,
Alice, we called her. Yes, the one-to-one was so important. It started with my
yeah.
dad, then with Tutu Alice, then Gabby, talking about
Oh,
Pahinui, then
yeah.
Sonny, Uncle Sonny
Let me,
Chellingworth. Yes,
Kavika, come on, let me share with Kavika
please.
my story about my first lesson with Auntie Alice. So I tell my mom, I want to stay with that kid. She calls up Auntie Alice. She says, "Oh, my little boy, he wants to come over. Would it be okay?" And Auntie Alice, they knew each other. Oh, sure, dear. Have him come over. I'm 15 years old. I just got my driver's license, and I got the worst possible car that you can imagine. This beat up old Datsun, dented doors, had coat hanger antenna, and something was wrong with the suspension. When you hit the low parts of the road, this big rooster tail of sparks came out the back. And I'm 15 years old, and I think this is amazing car because also had fireworks for me driving along. So so I go in my piece of car that I parked in front, of Auntie Alice's garage because I'm going to take her to Tahitian Lanai. Mom said, "Look, I'll give you some money. Take Auntie Alice to Tahitian Lanai. She'll enjoy it. You guys can talk." So okay. So I walk up her stairs. Auntie Alice comes out. She got this beautiful holoku on, black gloves, beautiful lace, papala, and she's so beautiful. And so she takes my arm, and we're going down the stairs. And the closer we get to the car, I can feel her hand stiffening up on my arm. And the closer we get, the harder she's gripping me. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And she kind of pulls me back. As we're getting just to the door of the car, she pulls me. She says, "Dear, what is this?" I go, "Oh, Auntie Alice, that's my car." She looks at me and she goes, "Oh, dear, come back when you have a nicer car." And then she turned around and walked back up the thing. Oh, jeez.
Oh my.
And she was so sweet. So anyway, I'm so glad Kavika had that opportunity to study with her. And those guys, Kavika probably knows this, but she thought Gabby and Ray were wild. She thought they were like you know really like crazy guys. We think of them as traditionalists, right? She thought they were radical.
Yeah. Kavika is just echoing something I shared with you before we went on the air.
Oh, thank you.
Real old style. That album.
Yeah, thank
Oh.
you. That's yeah.
Um,
In fact, I might pull that one out again for
whew.
this year with Henry because yeah, I love that song.
Cut number one. My
Yeah,
grandfather, he's a
yeah,
kindly man. He live
yeah,
on
yeah,
homestead land.
yeah.
Oh, Oh, I wore out that. I kept playing that first cut. I just loved it so much. It
Yeah,
was just amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're having such a good time, and I know that we don't have all morning here, but I would like to mention my Aloha Music Camp for people. It's an interesting premise or an idea that I sort of came up with my mom, about 21 years ago. And the idea was if we could bring people to Hawaii to kind of immerse them in Hawaiiana and things Hawaiian, that it would be a really magical experience for them. So many people are interested in Hawaiian music, the ukulele, slacky guitar, steel guitar. People have these interests, but a little bit short on the knowledge and the skills. So we decided we'd do this week of immersive teaching in Hawaii and invite people to just come and spend the week with us. Um, and the first one we did, I was, I was concerned because this is my family, and these are some of the kumu that teach at Aloha Music Camp. Kumu, of course, in Hawaiian means source. So these are some of the most enlightened teachers in Hawaii that are a part of Aloha Music Camp. There's Herb Ota on the left there of your screen at the bottom, and then above him is Kevin Brown. Then my Hanai brother, Kaliko Beamer Trap, next to Herb in the front row, and then my wife, and then Alan Akaka, who's a brilliant steel guitarist. So my job is to find the best kumu or the best teachers of these disciplines. And I learned over the years that there's two different skill sets involved. I mean, there's one thing to be a performer. That's a skill set you have to develop, and these are some of our students. This is from my advanced guitar class. Um, and then there's a performance skill set, but then there's another skill set that we need called teaching. You have to have a syllabus. You have to understand how to teach, how to bring people with you in the journey. That's a different skill set. Yeah. So the people the kumu that we work with have both. They're brilliant performers and excellent teachers. They have the patience to guide. So we'll be teaching in Kona. It's called Aloha Music Camp, and we invite people to come join us. Any skill level is fine. We have beginners, and some of my students have been with me for over 20 years. The advanced guitar guys, they are really good. And then also, we welcome intermediate players and beginning players. So we teach ukulele, Hawaiian slack key guitar, steel guitar, Hawaiian language, hula, and it's all combined in a real relaxed atmosphere. Um, this is a sweet thing from Bam saying that, yeah, this is the best group of kumu you could ever find. So fortunate that we are able to do this. Anyway, we'll be at the Keho Kona, Outrigger Keho Kona Beach Resort and Spa. So just think Outrigger Kona, and we'll be there teaching from April the 7th until the 13th. So come and check it out. I believe in enjoying our lives. We're here on this planet for a short period of time, so when it's my time to leave, I want to know that I had fun. I lived my life. And so that's our philosophy. We don't treat people like tourists, man. We treat them like extended family. And we have fun. There's lots of wine, lots of great food, and the music. Every night a different concert. It's joyous.
So we just
Check it out.
posted. Thank you, C. There's the
Yeah.
alohamusiccamp.org. You can go and
Yeah.
get
Thank you,
more
Steve.
information. So that's coming up in
Mahalo.
April in Kona. Oh my goodness,
Yep.
that's exciting. Now, um,
Yep.
I want to just talk about Mohala Whole, your
Sure.
501c3, and
Right.
I was looking at it. It said you're taking ukuleles to Cambodia, to India.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Sure. When we were little kids, we hardly had any money, right? Mom was a single uh, woman teacher. Teachers didn't make a lot of money back in those days. They still don't. And but we had our ukuleles, and that brought us so much joy, my brother and I. Just flailing away. Ukulele is pretty cool for kids because it's user friendly, easy to play, small hands, no problem. And it really kind of gave us this resilience and happiness and joy in our lives. Even though we didn't have any money, we didn't feel poor because we had the joy of music and the joy of the ukulele. And I was in Cambodia one year, and I was in this really underserved community, very, you know, still struggling, overcoming those horrors of Pol Pot and the politics of the past. But here are these young people, and they look so depressed and so sad. I was thinking, what can I do, to help them? Then I thought of the ukulele. The following year, we bought in 40 ukuleles, 6 teachers. We worked with this underserved community in Cambodia and a school in Cambodia, and we taught them not our songs, but we just taught them the techniques of the ukulele, the chords, so that they could play their own songs, their own cultural work. And then, like 6 months later, we started getting back videos of these kids playing ukulele in the town square with the kupuna and their
Ah,
family just laughing and joyous, and the kids happy, and the music. I didn't understand it, some Cambodian songs, but it's exactly what we wanted. Here, they're
wow.
they're they're celebrating their own culture joyously, uplifting the whole community. And then we did the similar thing in India. I think it was the year before last. Bought in 40 ukuleles, same thing, 6 teachers, and now we're going to do it in Bhutan in 2024
Nice.
because the joy of music is such a very important part of being a human being in the world. Let's remember art. Let's remember beauty. Let's cherish these things and put them out in the world.
That is beautiful. That is really, really beautiful. Here's Manny Lagod. Thank you for the stories. Yeah, we love it, Mo'olelo. And funny experiences. And Kamaka, thank you for you and your presence, your
Yeah,
talents. Love you both.
mahalo. Thank you
Got to get ready for
guys.
my gig tonight. That's right. So Manny is
All
at
right.
back. He's at back home in Lahaina in Carson tonight. So any of you in the South Bay, go down and see Manny
Nice.
Lagod and Kolohe playing it back
All
home
right.
in Lahaina.
Good for him. I'm glad he's still gigging. That's great.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's great.
So Mohala Ho,
Yeah.
is your 501c3 for World Ukulele.
Right.
What a wonderful initiative. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
if just encapsulating the Beamer ohana, if I were to ask you, what is the kuleana you feel is something you said this is
Yeah.
something you
Sure.
wanted to stay even after you're gone, that
Yeah.
you will still make an impact in the community and in society.
Right. Well, there's the music, of course, and now that we're all, in some kind of digital cloud, that probably be there, for quite a while. My great grandmother's beautiful music, my mom's music, my grandfather's, my family's music, our music. There's the kuleana of that, and maybe more importantly, is the kuleana of culture. We a couple of years ago, maybe 5, 6 years now, I worked with the Trust for Public Land. I worked for 3 years, you know, without compensation to take care of the kuleana of this piece of land called Kuamo'o on Hawaii Island. The Kuamo'o battlefield was the historic, amazing place in the history of Hawaii. It was where two rather factions, the traditionalists and the royalists, fought uh, for the future of Hawaii. It was the last battle fought in Hawaii in 1819. And you could look that up if you want to look at Aikapu in Hawaiian, or just if you were to look for the Battle of Kuamo'o, Kuamoo, you'll see the amazing history of this place, where Kekuakolani and his wife Manono, who my family says lineal descendant from Manono, fought against Kamehameha II, and they, had this very, very tragic battle there. In fact, when you go visit Cuomo, you can see where they visit Leki Leki. You can see where they pulled down the rocks to bury about 200 warriors along the
Wow.
ridge there.
Oh,
And so the battle was fought for the future of Hawaii, whether to go with our existing system, religious system, or to put it aside and convert to Christianity, which is what Kahu'umanu wanted to do, and the Royalists wanted to, you know, go towards Christianity. So
Christianity. Yeah.
it was a huge battle, and Manono and Kekuakalani were both killed. But that place is sort of ground zero for cultural, shall we say, angst. Um, I don't quite have the words for it, but that battle changed everything in Hawaii. So that space, which is a battlefield and burial grounds now, is important to the history of Hawaii and for the mo'olelo of telling our generations what happened there. So I worked with the Trust for Public Land, and through the uh, fundraising aspect of them being so great at what they do, public land kind of people, we raised $3.5 million, purchased Kuomo'o from the
Wow.
existing landowner, and
Oh,
now we have it protected under a conservation easement for perpetuity. It will forever be available to Hawaii's kids, to our lineal descendants, to go there, to learn, to understand the mo'olelo of where we came from. And now we can take that mo'olelo and go forward.
oh, no development, no hotels, no.
Yep.
It is. And how much of a piece of land are we talking about? Um, Keola, you said about 40 acres?
They have 46 acres. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. My goodness, the hour has gone by so quickly. Such great stories, Keola. So wonderful.
Thank
Um,
you.
oh, look, and we have lots of our friends are just jumping in over here. Michelle says, Mahalo, Keola, and Kamaka. There's Lara says, great conversation today. I should say, oh, you get the best stories, Keola. You get the best stories.
Because
Uh,
I'm old, bro.
Here's Nate Jones. Mahalo to Nate Jones. He's the talent wrangler. He's the one that does all the heavy duty work. Thank you, Nate. He says, good to see you and mahalo for coming on. He says, my mom in Kaneohe is watching. She says she loves Hilo. Oh, Hanakahi, which you did with
Oh, that's a good
Vaiatara
one.
Helm. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, my goodness. You know what? I'm going to be in trouble if I didn't at least before we go. You got to tell me about this
Okay.
picture.
Well, yeah. We my sweet wife, she just loves Christmas, and so we had a little decided to get away for a little bit, just
Uh-huh.
kind of clear our clear our heads after the fire and just kind of think through some things. So we went to Cambodia and took some more ukuleles to our students there because the program is still going and still growing. So
Nice.
we took some more instruments to them. But anyway, that's
Ah,
us in
in
Siem Reap,
Cambodia.
sort of celebrating Christmas. Yeah.
um, and I definitely want to include your lovely wife. She is a kumuhula. She was on tour with you and Kapono, coming up in those four shows. Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Beautiful kumuhula.
so wonderful. And once again, before we leave, we do want to remind all of our friends on the continent the tour for Keola, Kapono, and Moana. And once again, that's going to be Kirkland, Washington on the 27th of the month, the 28th of January in Portland, and then over to Berkeley, California, Northern Cali, February 1st, and then down to Phoenix, Arizona on the 2nd. And they will not be taking their Ileo with them. Ileo has to stay home and guard the house over there. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, on there. Um, we do have some folks that are just jumping in right now and saying, "Oh, DC Makaena, there's brother DC. He's saying mahalo for sharing."
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
And C Honda says, I learned so much. I should say, you know what, Keola, we gotta have part two, man. You got so many more mo'olelo. We gotta hear some more stories. The time just went by too quick.
I know it goes by pretty quick.
I
That's a
gotta
good song.
right. I gotta tell brother Nate to reach out to you if you want. Come, the door is open to the
Oh, thank
Aloha
you.
Aloha Friday Hale. I know you have your shows coming up, your tours, but
Yeah,
maybe if once you get back later on in the year, come back and do part two and more mo'olelo for us. And yeah, so all of our friends are jumping in over here, you guys. So thank you, Keola. Mahalo
you.
for sharing
Oh,
your time with us. So good, so much fun.
yeah.
Uh,
Thank you for all you do to promote the music and help us artists, and keep people informed about what's going on. You have a
Absolutely.
beautiful sense of humor and just this warm honor. It's a pleasure to speak with
Aw,
you.
thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Um,
Mahalo nui.
Before we go, we want to remind our friends once more, coming up right here in Southern California, that we do have the Makaha Sons came in October. We really enjoyed Brother Jerome Coco and his two brothers with him. And then Robert Casimero, who doesn't travel very much out of the islands. He's going to be with us on January 28th at the Downey Theater. So we definitely want to invite you to join us. I'll be emceeing the show there, and we're going to have good fun. So please join us for the Robert Casimero show. We say aloha to Keola Beamer. Mahalo, Keola.
Aloha, thank
Take
you.
take care.
Aloha. Aloha.
Okay, ahui ho. Hello, everybody.